Today on Real Possibilities, we are talking about you. You're never too old to look your best self. Stay tuned. Have you ever wondered how celebrities get that perfect glow, the perfect makeup, the perfect eyeshadow, the perfect everything? Well, I can tell you how. Kierra, that's how. She is a makeup artist for celebrities, and I'm so thrilled to have you here with us today. I'm a little scared because every time you come in, I see all this, and then I think about what I have in my bathroom, and it's like one of those, a little bit of that. You make it so simple, and so thank you so much for coming back and being with us again. I know you were here a couple of years ago, but a lot's happened since then.
Yeah, a lot has happened. I'm so grateful to be a part, and thank you for always inviting me.
Absolutely. I mean, I just noticed a little bit ago that was a fashion reporter was consulting you about makeup and kinds of makeup, and you've just continued to grow and re-identify yourself. So tell us a bit about you, your background, how you got involved with this, what you're doing. I know you were in New York. You were on one of those big billboards in New York. Folks, she's the real deal. So stay tuned. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Kierra Lanice Wray. I have been a celebrity makeup artist for 10 years, but a makeup artist for the last 15. My work spans commercials, TV, red carpet,
movies.
Yep, I've done film. I'm also a consultant and contributor. I've been featured in Allure magazine. I recently did a cover for The Hollywood Reporter, Glamour, The New York Times. My work has been everywhere.
Go girl!
Thank you.
That's awesome. And she's only like 19, so you've done a ton of celebrities and been all around. So you know a lot about skin, about skincare and makeup. Certainly. And particularly as it relates to older adults. Our skin loses something. Don't ask me how I know, but it loses some of the elasticity or, some of the tightness over a period of time. What, in particular winter months, holidays, with Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, what do people need to do to take care of their skin? Let's start with the basics.
I would say when it comes to skincare, having a good cleanser and moisturizer is the best place to start. Okay. And so I know there's, the Korean 10-step routine and all these different things. You really just need a really good cleanser, a really good hydrating and moisturizing moisturizer, and then sunscreen all year round. I know a lot of people think that we don't need sunscreen, especially the deeper skin tones. Right. No, we absolutely need sunscreen. And so really just making sure that you're protecting that skin barrier, and your makeup is only going to look as good as the skin underneath it. And so really making sure that it is prepped and hydrated and supple. That's going to help with that collagen and elastin production, so that we don't lose sight of that.
Your makeup is only as good as the skin underneath it.
Yeah.
That's key. I took a trip with a woman who slept in her makeup.
Oh, goodness.
And the pillows were disgusting. But anyway, you never want to do that.
Never sleep in your makeup, because that actually makes you age faster. At night when you're asleep, your skin goes through the process called mitosis. And so what happens is, in your most deep, most gratifying part of sleep, your cells are turning over and they're purging all debris, all dirt, and then it helps with cellular regeneration. But if you still have makeup on, you're not able to do that. And also, if you don't have a moisturizer on, it's not able to properly turn over. And so every 30 days, your skin cells turn over and regenerate new skin cells, and that's what comes onto the surface. And so if you're constantly sleeping in makeup, or if you're too lazy to wash your face in the evening, you're actually holding up that process of rejuvenation for your skin.
Wow. And so I know we don't do brands on here, but what type of moisturizer should someone look for? What should be in your moisturizer? People use shea butter. There's a ton of moisturizers out there.
Yeah, it really just depends on your skin type. So if you typically have more dry skin, I would look for products that are moisturizing, not necessarily hydrating. Okay. And so the difference between hydration and moisture is that hydration means the presence of water. So you'll find that the products typically are labeled like a lotion. That's for someone with more oily skin. Okay. Like I'm oily. Okay. So a lot of my moisturizers are a hydrating lotion because I need more water. My skin already produces oil. Okay. But if you're more dry, then you want to look for products that are moisturizing, that does have oils in it, that does have, let's say, squalene or different types of oils, like you mentioned shea butter and cocoa and things. Those are really good ingredients as well.
And particularly for older adults, their skin is probably a little bit on the dry side. In winter months, do you need to do anything different than you do all year long, or is it the same regimen all year long?
I would actually, if you feel like you suffer from extreme dryness in the winter, on top of your moisturizer, I would include what's called an occlusive. So whether that's a little bit of Vaseline or even an oil on top of your moisturizer, you can do it day or night depending on how dry your skin is, but especially at night. That's the time to really, really do it.
Thank you for that. Now, okay, let's gossip. So who has been your favorite or your least, I won't say least favorite, your favorite artist, celebrity to make up?
Oh, that's such a tough question.
A couple of your favorites.
I've worked with a lot of amazing people. I will say
Okay.
that. I'm so grateful and so blessed to work with celebrity clients. But I feel like the world of celebrity is so relative.
Yeah.
So for people my age, right? If I say Raven Simone,
Yeah.
millennials are
yeah.
gonna say, "Oh my gosh, Raven Simone."
yeah.
But if I were talking to older adults, then I would say, "Oh, Cheryl Lee Ralph. She's one of my favorites to work with." I love working with Scottie Pippen. I've done his grooming.
Yeah. And that's nice. Men use makeup as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And skincare. So when it comes to grooming, I do a lot of skincare. I might do a couple, tweaks and, fine touches, especially if they have, let's say, blemishes from shaving or things like that, but they're not getting a full glam. But anytime you see someone on television, they're always wearing makeup.
Always, because the lights also make a...
Yes, they make a huge, huge difference.
So folks, I'm sorry, this is not done by Kierra. I just want you to know this is done by Paula Cunningham, and it is not professionally done.
You look fabulous
anyway. Next time we'll make sure we do it before I come on, I come on the air. When we talk about makeup, what's one of the mistakes that people make, women in particular?
I have found that a lot of women try to use makeup to cover up or to mask imperfections.
That big cakey stuff?
Yep, they want to use it as a mask. And honestly, makeup should really just be a complement to the beauty that you already have, right? And so we don't want to cover up what we consider imperfections, especially as we age. We start to say, oh, like, I don't like the lines around my eyes or on my mouth. And to me, I'm like, no, I'm not in the business of making people look younger. I want them to embrace who they are right now and help enhance that. So when it comes to the lines around your eyes, that's told me that you have laughed, you have smiled, you have cried, happy and sad tears.
I like my lines now. I didn't. This morning I was trying to cover them up, but now.
No. I think it's really important to use makeup to enhance your natural beauty and not to cover it up. Like, let's use makeup with intention and, not use it to cover up who we are as people.
That's good. And that's really what AARP does too. Just be yourself. I mean, don't stop trying to impress folks. Just, if you got gray hair, you've earned it. If you've got lines or wrinkles, you've earned those. So just embrace your natural self. So I like hearing that, because so many times you see people with blue eyeshadow or, having their lips up here. What about pumping up lips? What is going on with that? And even talk to me a little bit about false eyelashes. Well, I think people are going to go blind eventually, because it's like a shade in your eye when the eyelashes go.
I think that when things are done with intention, you can't tell the difference, right? So I'm actually wearing false lashes right now, but I've made sure that I found a shape that aligns with my natural lash line.
Yours don't go up to your eyebrows.
And they're not really long. Yeah, so I'm wearing a false lash. I'm wearing strips, but I made sure that they look like my natural lashes because, again, I want them to enhance my features. I don't want them to cover up.
Right. So some people, they close their eye and it takes 5 minutes to open it because the lash has to go away.
Heavy.
To go way up there. So,
blowing in the wind.
Right, exactly. And everything's not for everybody. So just because you see someone else doing it or you think it's a fad, it's not necessarily something that we should, particularly older, I wouldn't say any age doesn't matter, but you shouldn't pick up everything everyone else does, right?
I agree. I'm not one to really embrace trends. I am known for like timeless, classic makeup looks. And so even if I'm playing with color, I want to make sure that it's tasteful and that it complements my client's personality, what they're wearing, where they're, what they're attending. I think all those things need to be taken into consideration. There's nothing wrong with using makeup as a creative outlet, but things should be tastefully done.
Right. Everything's so expensive now, and so people have to cut back. So are there any natural tips you can give people? Like, I know folks have talked about cucumbers and other stuff. Any natural tips that you can give people if they don't have money for the best moisturizer out there and things like that?
So here's the thing. Even though I work with celebrities and I use a lot of high-end brands, I also use just as many drugstore brands as well.
Okay.
And so I'm a firm believer that use what you can afford, for one, right? Because there's no keeping up with the Joneses.
Right,
We
exactly.
want to stay stay in our lane, stay where we are, and you can have affordable looks for less. And so when it comes to the natural tips, of course I love a good cucumber on my eyelid, you know, in my robe.
Yes.
But there are a lot of stores that have affordable products for less than $10, $5 even. And look, I can't say any brands, but I'm wearing a drugstore lipstick that was $4.
Oh.
And I just put a gloss on top of it.
Oh, we'll talk after the show.
But it's good to mix and match and play around.
Yeah.
And then, just use what you have. Like, I love Vaseline.
Yeah.
We all use petroleum jelly. Gosh. We have it at home, right?
That's taking me way back, old school. You know, Vaseline was used for everything.
Yeah.
Mom, I hurt my knee. Put some Vaseline on it. Mom, my hair's dry. Put some Vaseline on it. Mom, little baby's butt's dry. Put some Vaseline on it. Everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love using a little bit of Vaseline on my lashes before I go to sleep to keep them moisturized. That way they continue to grow, as well as on my eyebrows.
Yeah.
In the winter months, because in the winter I typically do get a little more dry than oily. I'll, on top of my moisturizer, put a thin layer of that as well.
Nice.
You know, sometimes if I want to have like more of a glossy eyelid look, I'll mix a little bit with eyeshadow, a little Vaseline, and use my finger and dab it on. There's so many ways to mix and match and play. You don't have to have a full spread on your vanity to have a cute look.
One of the things we were talking about before we got on the show were all the brushes that you have. And I know this is only like an eighth of the brushes that you carry around. And I was thinking about how many brushes I had at home, which is probably 2 or 3.
Oh,
all right. But keeping them clean is important.
Yes, absolutely. Keeping your brushes cleaned and conditioned is very, very important.
Conditioned?
Conditioned.
Okay, talk to me.
And so when it comes to brushes, a lot of them are natural hair fibers, or even if they're synthetic, you want to keep them conditioned. And so even if you get a $1 conditioner from the dollar store, right? After you wash them, so I like to use some kind of oil to break down the product, especially if it's a foundation brush. I'll use that to break that oil up in the foundation, and then I'll go in with a antibacterial soap, and I'm shampooing the brushes, you know, in my sink, shampooing them really well.
Okay.
And then what I'll do is I'll take, I only condition them like every couple of months. But I'll take alcohol and a wipe, and I'll wipe down the handles to sanitize the handles as well, because our brushes get tossed and thrown around. I only use maybe 4 brushes, 5 brushes myself in my personal vanity, but that's just me. I'm a good from finger makeup. I love using my fingers. The warmth of your hands helps to melt the products into your skin better. So there's nothing wrong with using your hands instead of brushes.
The warmth of your hands helps. Okay, that's nice to know. But just don't put your hands on anything else until you wash them. Because
until you wash them.
Have you done that before ever? You touch something else and then
my God, I did it this morning. I did it this morning.
And you see makeup all on your towels.
I saw fingerprint. I'm like, oh goodness, it happens to the best of us.
All right, so give me some tips. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of touch up. I say a little bit of touch up or whatever you need to do. What would you do to enhance my look?
So I love your natural look already.
Okay, then we can we can stop right here. That's all we need.
So first, I'm going to sanitize my hands first.
Do you tell everybody that when you sit down and talk with them? You say, "I love your natural look already." Every celebrity.
I can find a different compliment. But no, you have beautiful, beautiful skin. I love your lip color as well. Very pretty.
Thank you.
So looking at you, I do want to increase the moisture a little bit. And so what I'm going to do.
I mean, it's dry. You know, it's this time of year, but you put a moisturizer on, and I don't always wear makeup. But, but when you do, you got to make certain it's last all day, which is another issue. You know, if you put it on and you have to keep making it up throughout the day, and you can't do that. So you want something that's lasts all day without taking all the moisture out of your skin, right?
Certainly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with skincare.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a little bit of an eye cream.
Oh, okay. Fix those eyes.
Eye cream is so important because the skin around your eyes is 4 times thinner than the rest of the skin on the face.
I know. So women, don't be pulling your eyes or
Please
rubbing your
don't.
eyes or... We should do one side so we can do a before and after, huh? No.
I'm like, if you want.
It might be scary, so we should probably do this.
No way. So I'm going to use a little bit of a hydrating moisturizer. Just
and
grab
around the eyes, you have to be careful what you put on under your eyes, particularly older adults. I'm not saying everyone, but particularly older adults, because you said it's so much thinner. So, So what should they look for in the eye cream? Same thing, same kind of moisturizer?
Yep. So you want to make sure that your moisturizer is, or your under eye cream is thicker, right? I typically wouldn't go for something that's really hydrating underneath the eye as much as moisture. So I would definitely look for something that's a little bit more thicker, a little bit creamier.
Yeah.
That's going to make a big difference.
Okay, there's so much out there. It's hard to know exactly what. You know, I've had problems with my skin breaking out with certain makeup, so I always go to dermatologists, you know, to suggest what to use or what not to use. So if people are having problems with makeup, maybe it's not for them. Maybe they need to have, because you can break out over some of this stuff if you don't. Yeah,
especially if you don't protect your skin.
Yeah.
So starting with skincare is so important, especially because when it comes to the makeup, there's different chemicals and all these different ingredients. And I do use a lot of cruelty-free, a lot of hypoallergenic brands because I work with so many different people with different skin types and I'm in different climates.
Yes.
All of that stuff matters, which is also why you shouldn't follow trends, because if you see someone online and you're copying what they're doing, we live in Michigan, right? And so I can't always copy what someone in LA is doing because the climate is different and their skin type is different and their complexion is different. And so that's also why I never give product reviews, because just because something didn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for the next.
Somebody else. So when you first sit down with a celebrity or anyone, because you also do young people, you know, birthday parties and things like that. So when you first sit down and you look at someone, what's the first thing you assess?
I assess the moisture level in their skin.
Okay.
So I want to see how hydrated is their skin, what are areas that, you know, I can help them glow. And again, I try to really not cover anything up, but just enhance what's already there.
So you don't always see mustaches when you sit down like you see with mine.
I don't see a mustache, cut it out.
So when people sit down, you first just look at the skin and do an assessment of where they are and what's going on. And you want to get that glow, that kind of moisturizing glow going on.
Absolutely. I look at my clients and I'm looking at their face, I'm looking at their neck, their hands, especially when it comes to what colors I should use. Because a lot of times, especially for women of color, our chest is a little bit lighter. And so I like to match the concealer color. If I want to brighten, I want to match that to the chest. That way, yes, I'm going to color correct or whatever underneath the eye, but if I want to brighten, then I'm going to match it to that. That way, no matter where you turn, it all matches.
It all matches. Yeah, we have seen that before, where the face is one color and the, you know, especially if you go to a ball or something and someone has, you know, a sleeveless dress or a low-cut dress, and you see that's one color, and then their face is another color. Green eyeshadows out?
No, I love green eyeshadow.
Oh, really?
And I love green liner. Green liner is really good too. A lot of times if I don't want to do eyeshadow, I'll just pop a fun liner and it gives the same effect. So like on the lower lash line, mainly on the lower lash line, I'll kind of smoke it out, but I love a good green, I love a good blue.
Oh, nice.
Especially the holiday season. Oh, this is perfect.
Nice, okay. For any age?
For any age.
Okay.
Any age.
One of my colleagues and also dear friend, Kathleen, her daughter's getting married and she keeps worrying about her face and makeup for weddings versus evening versus daytime. There's different makeups, right? If you're have an afternoon event for evening event or a nighttime event, makeup changes.
Absolutely. One of my favorite things to do during the day, I want to keep the eyes bright and fresh. But in the evening, I want to smoke it out. You know, that's the best rule of thumb.
I want to smoke it out in the evening too, but I haven't done that for a while. But
you are hilarious. I'm just adding a little bit of concealer.
All right.
Just a smidge. And I like to use concealer with a really fluffy brush. Well, a lot of people will consider an eyeshadow brush because I really want to diffuse that product. I don't want it to look heavy and like it's sitting on top of the skin.
So we've got about 1.5 minutes left, so we've got to work magic. Maybe we could just do a before and after. But it doesn't take that long. How much time should it take someone? I mean, if you're talking every day in the morning when you get up, going to work, wherever you're going, how much time should people dedicate to or set aside for just doing their makeup?
How much time do they have?
Okay.
Honestly, I would much rather do people's makeup than my own. And so my makeup routine is maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
Very quick. I use multifaceted products. So a lot of times, whatever lip color I have, I'm also going to use that as my blush. I try to cut corners. You know? I'm like, I don't want to spend all this time doing my own makeup. I'd rather do it on someone else.
And a lot of folks think it takes forever, but and it makes you feel good, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
if you, And how do you know what kind of lip color shade? I mean, do you just do what you like, or? Because sometimes you see folks trying to do the real big red and the real, just you see their lips coming in the room before you see the rest of them. I'm being bad today, aren't I? But that's true. I mean,
I have seen that.
Yeah.
I have seen it. Honestly, I would say when it comes to a lip color, as long as you wear a lip liner, that's really where people miss, because they'll wear these fun lip colors, but the lip liner is what makes the world of a difference. And so having a good, like if you, in the summertime, if you want like a softer brown lip liner or a hot pink lip liner, you can wear any lipstick with it because the liner is going to adjust it.
Oh, I'm glad I put my liner on today, then that helps. We've got about 20 seconds left, Kierra. You are just such a superstar. And if people want to contact you, I know that you are available for celebrities, but you're available for other parties and other events and activities as well. And just appreciate you. Born and raised right here in Lansing, Michigan. So one of our own homegrown folks. So thank you so much for being here with us today. And you can keep working on me even though we have to go. But thank you so much for watching Real Possibilities. Long-term care, it is expensive. David, why is long-term care so expensive?
Paula, I can tell you very easily.
Okay.
You may remember from history class that there was this unpleasantness in the world, the late 30s to the mid 40s. It was called World War II. And when World War II was over, people were happy. They were so happy, guess what they did? They had families, big families, okay? In fact, you might even say there was a baby boom. Okay?
I don't remember World War II. I wasn't there, but I understand what you're saying.
Well, from high school, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was history, I get it. But here's the thing. There are a lot of us boomers, a lot of us boomers, but we didn't have as many kids as our parents did. So now the demand for care, the demand is through the roof. The supply of caregivers bottoming out. So you tell me, what happens when demand goes up and supply goes down?
The cost goes up.
Exactly. That's why it's $40. At a mid-range agency now, it's $40 an hour to get the trained person to come, not a nurse, not an LPN, just anybody to come who's been trained to come and sit with you. So the range is $30 to $60 an hour. And if you want a registered nurse, it starts at over $100 an hour. That's what retirement law is focused on. You don't have to go broke. We can, and you've already paid for your long-term care. Question is, how do you take advantage of it?
That's fantastic information, and people need to plan early.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, David. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Paula.
So you're leaving your money to a loved one. Will that money be taxed? And if so, how so? Shannon, can you answer that for us?
Absolutely. It's a great question. And I think you got to start first by understanding the difference between estate taxes and income taxes. Estate taxes are not going to impact most people. So estate taxes are what is left if you have too much money. So that number today is about 13 million.
Too much money?
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of our viewers aren't going to reach north of 13 million. But almost every viewer is going to have the problem of income taxes after they pass. A lot of it has to do with how much planning you did while you were alive. The more you tried to avoid income taxes by setting up money in a retirement plan through your employer, an IRA, all of those avoided income tax while you were alive, your heirs will not avoid income taxes when those assets pass onto them. So understanding the difference between the estate and whether or not it's taxable and the asset that you pass on to somebody if it's taxable for income tax reasons.
So at some point, the government's going to get their money, whether they've gotten it through earlier or they get it later, they're going to get their money.
Unless you pass those assets on to a nonprofit or a charitable organization, 100% they're going to be taxed.
And if you are a certain age, so say I think over 72, and you leave, you've already paid taxes on the money's in an estate, then it's not taxed.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on did you take it out of the asset, and that's the big difference for people. I think you're referring to what are called required minimum distributions at a certain age, and those ages have changed recently with some tax laws. But ultimately, if you take the money from a retirement plan, you pay taxes during your lifetime. then potentially they are passed tax-free to your heirs.
Folks, call your financial advisor. You need to make certain you plan. Thank you so much, Shannon. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
CATA's regional mobility solutions can help seniors seize the day. Hear what riders and community leaders have to say about the value CATA brings to the lives of aging adults.
My name is Louis Schnabelrausch. I'm 91, going on 92 years old. I have to depend on CATA a lot because I quit driving about 5 years ago. And it's a godsend for me. I shouldn't be driving, and because my reaction time is slower, my vision's not as good as it was 30 years ago. I ride free because I'm a veteran. Well, a lot of times I have to go to VA clinic on Cedar Street with a CATA. I use CATA 3 or 4 times a week. I use Ready Ride mostly. Sometimes go shopping. I ride free, and I appreciate that. Well, that's really something I don't have to pay to get on. Then I know that I can call them up, and they're pretty good about being punctual and stuff like that. I'll say that. I get to meet other people. I feel as it amazes me that some of the drivers will recognize somebody that they've seen 4 or 5 years ago. They remember their names. It amazes me how those on the CATA drivers, how helpful they are. I don't need help, but a lot of people do need help. And like they have a bicycle, they put that on the front, or like they'll bring some groceries out, they'll help them with the groceries, put them inside the car. So that impresses me.
Hi, I'm Tracy Anderson with Impart Alliance at Michigan State University. Today I'm joined by Darlene Brown. Darlene is owner and operator of HCP Homes right here in Lansing. Yes. Darlene, first tell me what HCP Homes is all about.
Well, thank you so much for having me. HCP Homes stands for Hope, Compassion, and Peace. That's something that is very imprinted on my heart to do for our community.
Okay, and tell me about the partnership with Impart Alliance and why that's so important to have.
Yeah, great question. Impart Alliance has been a great partnership, not only for me, but a lot of direct care workers around the state. They provide a free training. Again, free training for anyone and everyone, especially if you want to know how to take care of your family members a lot better and efficiently, as well as if you decide to make this a profession.
Absolutely, and having that statewide resource for you, for your direct care workers, and ultimately for those you support, I would imagine that is so valuable.
It is. I don't have to recreate the wheel. The wheel is already there. All I have to do is connect my direct care workers to Impart Alliance trainings.
That's great. And these trainings are free, so yes. Tell me how valuable that is.
That is super valuable, especially since we are having a business, there's a lot of expenses. And so that partnership is just so amazing. I'm very grateful for it.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Darlene. We really appreciate it.
No matter who you are, what age you are, today you received some news that you can use. Hopefully you'll share it with others. Thanks for watching Real Possibilities.